My agency mainly focuses on search marketing services, SEO, conversion rate optimization, other digital marketing services. I'm not mainly focused on development, but oftentimes my clients do need a new site or need their site redeveloped. And so I'm always using a premium theme when I'm doing development. And many times I turn to Jupyter for those. I'm usually working with emerging companies that are trying to grow, increasing dollars in their marketing, online marketing specifically, and usually focused in the B2B space. So companies that are doing lead generation and are focusing on marketing automation. That's where my expertise really lies. I worked for a custom development company previously, and in managing that company, I often saw clients come in and take 6 months or sometimes a year to get a site developed, from going through the whole design process and then having a programmer create everything all over again from scratch. And so by that time, your competition's already way ahead of you. You've really missed the boat on a lot of opportunities. So usually in a premium theme like Jupyter, we can get you up and running in under 2 months, and that allows us to take advantage of new opportunities. Jupyter is fully supports other plugins like Yoast and Gravity Forms or whatever other plugins that we're using. And oftentimes with Jupyter, we don't have to use a lot of additional plugins because there's so many core features already built into it that it becomes really light and not bloated. So it keeps us fast, and we're focused on the same tools that pretty much everybody's used to on our industry standards now. I'd say first and foremost, especially with the most recent update, that speed has been a huge factor, and I've seen across the board most sites have dropped their load times, like literally we're cut in half.
Wow.
So obviously that's going to help improve rankings, because that's speed is now a factor in rankings. It's going to keep the user on site. We've lowered bounce rates. So all of that data leads to conversions, and that's obviously the main goal, especially in my business, is to get visitors on the site, get them to what they're looking for quickly, and then convert them. And with conversion rate optimization, it's all about looking at the data and making changes. And so it's very easy to make slight changes with the theme, to go in and pick it up in color for a button, or to move some things around, being a drag and drop, that we can easily run Google experiments, A/B test things, and really drive what we're trying to do, and which is convert visitors and get more leads. Support has always been great. So since I bought the theme, probably in 2013, I've reached out many times. The documentation is great, so always referring to the documentation, which is really well done. And I remember in the beginning watching a lot of the videos, how to set up the admin, how to import the demos, which are awesome. It's a great way to get started using the demos. And then from there, it's been little things here and there. I think the most recent request that I had, they said that they would add it into the next update, and then a week or two later, the bug that was there got added and was updated in the next update. So the great thing about support is that they're always responsive. I pretty much see an update to Jupyter come into Envato about every 2 weeks. So that's when I'm telling other developers who are out there and are asking me what themes they should use for their clients. I go to Jupyter first, because it's always being updated. I know you guys haven't abandoned that theme. Right. It's something that people can stick with for a long time, and that's really what you want. You don't want to throw up a website that you didn't create the back end for, and then have that developer not be there anymore when you need help, or have WordPress and the rest of the market get ahead of the site. And so it's like having you guys as my outsourced development team, really. Cost thousands of dollars, but really you guys are there and helpful. And so with that, I'm going to keep using the theme over and over again. I just did a one-page site for myself, which I did in Jupyter. Many times with agencies or developers, you spend less time on your own site, and you're always focused on your clients. But I did a one-pager, and it looks great, it works well. So anywhere from that to companies that are B2B or sell directly to consumers. You can style it completely different. I had one client who actually wanted to do their design themselves. Oh, okay. It was a CPA firm, and surprisingly, one of the people at the CPA firm knew Adobe Illustrator. And so he actually designed the site in Illustrator, gave me the design files, and I cut it up and put it into Jupyter. And that was a site that I probably did in about 24 hours. Wow. So it went really fast. Yeah, it's cost effective for the client, because they want to be spending their money on marketing. They don't want to be spending their money in development. And I think what's really what's happening in the market is they're getting frustrated that every time they do, every 3 to 5 years, they feel like they have to spend 10,000 or more on a new website. Well, if we can bring the cost down on that new website, and then maybe even never even have to do another site again, we stay inside of that and just continue to improve. I always tell my customers, you're not going to wake up tomorrow and find a brand new Amazon.
Right.
Amazon isn't going to change overnight. There's going to be slight modifications to Amazon that you're not going to pick up on, but they're being made in the background, changes to colors and changes to headings and where things are placed and layout. You're not really going to notice it. And that's the new approach that companies need to start taking with their site, that if we can get you in a framework that allows you to grow in that framework, and that framework is continuing to grow as the market grows, then we just make the changes as the market demands, we make those changes. So you can get up and running quickly and then continue to make changes based on what's happening. SEO has been great. So definitely we've improved rankings by using Jupyter. That can happen pretty quickly. Again, site speed is huge, and then just the overall coding of the site. There's no bloat in the coding. Everything's done correctly. It easily supports other plugins, like I mentioned previously. So once we get our content in, it gives us our best chance with the search engines to rank well. And then from there, it's just making the tweaks, learning what pages visitors are going to, how they're using those pages, and getting them to do what we want them to do. I'd say the admin itself is just so easy to use. So if you buy the theme and you go through the documentation, you install a demo, and then just go through the admin, it's just make choices. You point and click and make the choices you want to make. There really is no coding. I mean, somebody who doesn't know how to code, which is kind of where I was. I wasn't very familiar with CSS when I first got started. I was able to do my first site, and it turned out really well without knowing much CSS.